Stu gets a job is actually kind of heartbreaking because Didi's fed up of Stu just sitting around waiting for his inventions to happen or perhaps fix themselves. So he gets a job, and Tommy finds out about this, and Tommy is devastated because he wants his daddy to stay at home with him and play. But Chuckie, ever the voice of reason, tells Tommy that he's just going to have to go to work and deal with it. And Chuckie says, and I quote, "You'll get used to never having him around anymore." My heart broke. Absolutely. So Tommy and Chuckie decide to devise a plan to stop Stu from going to work. But the things that they do, Stu thinks that it's Drew trying to get back at him because Stu owes Drew money, apparently. But Stu is certain that he's given Drew the money and Drew's not having any of it. So there's a bit of back and forth between the two of them. I won't give away too much, but for example, Stu orders a bunch of pizzas to go to Drew, and they do various things to get at each other, but it also seems like the babies are doing, or it seems like Drew's doing things to Stu, but it's actually Tommy and Chuckie. It sounds like a tangled web. I'm making it sound more complicated than it is. It's actually very easy to follow. It's a good narrative, it's a fun narrative, and ultimately, the outcome or what happened with Stu owing Drew money or allegedly owing Drew money still, I loved. I thought it was just unpredictable and I found it really amusing. It was a nice way to kind of round off that part of the narrative. But it was just so heartbreaking to think that poor Tommy won't have his daddy around anymore if he has to go to work. Stu looked very dishevelled. It was a very well animated episode. And I thought it was really heartbreaking at times, very moving. And I imagine, I work from home. I get to spend all day, every day with my cat. But if I had to go back to an office, I'd be heartbroken. And I honestly feel like my cat would be the same. Mainly because she wouldn't have treats on tap anymore. So I feel like it's something people can relate to. Not necessarily with a cat, but, parents of children, or children of parents who have to go to work can definitely relate to it. And vice versa as well, if a parent is watching it with a child and they're going back to work, maybe the first time after having that child, it's a nice way of saying, hey, this is actually going to affect your child in ways that you might not think of. They may actually miss you a lot more than you think, and it's definitely going to be a learning curve and a transition period. But I won't say what happens with that in this episode. But I liked it. I thought it was very well developed, not completely predictable, really good fun when it needed to be, but also quite sentimental, and one that I absolutely enjoyed.